Welcome back to 365 Unlimited. We have been gone for, it seems like it's been a while now. We've been doing our thing, getting back into school. I joined the Whitewater football staff this fall, building off of last spring, kind of doing my thing there. Gannon's back at Fayette, Missouri for another year with Central Methodist University, doing his thing, back at baseball. So we're in full swing now. The summer kind of took off on us and got away from us, which kind of sucks. Reality is here. We're back in full swing. But as you can tell, we got two guests with us for this return to podcasting. Very excited for this to kind of sit down after our trip. For those of you that don't know, Gannon and I made a trip out to Dallas, Texas this past weekend to watch the Cowboys play the Bengals. But we actually went with a group called Personal Corner. And a lot of you have seen our posts talking about working with Dez Bryant, working with his team, with what he does with NFTs, with what he does with the athlete, fan engagement, utility. So throughout this episode, you're going to get a good taste of what all of those words mean. Because right now, I'd be just as confused as you are listening to those words. But before we get into all that, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Continue to tune into our videos. We appreciate all the continuous support that we've received from all of you guys. It's very heartwarming to us to kind of be able to understand just who in our community supports us. Check out our sponsors, Driftless Quality Wear and Bocker Auto Group. They've continually supported us, so let's support them as well. All right, Gannon, let's hop into this thing, man.
So yeah, it was pretty insane weekend. We'll just give a little quick recap of just kind of what all we totally did. We knew what we were gonna go into this experience, and we're gonna be able to go attend the game, meet a lot of people, network, and just sit in the suite, meet all those people. But it was so much more than that. It was to actually connect and meet with Luke, Freddy, and everybody else that was there this weekend. And it was so surreal, but it also felt right, I think, in Bryce and I's eyes, because it was something that we kind of manifested and worked for since we started this. It was also something that Bryce and I would talk about on this podcast and everything that would go along the way, that we didn't know what we were going to come along in this future. And this is, I think, one of those things that we didn't truly know, but we came along until we got there and got our feet established and just kind of enjoyed it and met everybody. So before we kind of get into all that, I just wanted to say thank you, especially to these two down here and to everybody else that's involved with Personal Corner, because none of this would have been possible with 365, with Personal Corner, and just a little bit of a collaboration, and now building off of that, it's pretty cool and spectacular, especially now to have some even professors back at college, having me ask about the weekend, what I did for the internship, what is going to go moving forward. It's just little things that kind of make you feel like that you actually worked and achieved something. Sometimes it's good to sit back and do that and pat yourself on the back a little bit. So I think it was kind of a cool reflection process that Bryce and I have had this last week. I just kind of wanted to add that before we get going here, but I think Bryce wants to introduce and then go on with the first question here. Those are just my little quick take back and feedback from the weekend and all that. And it's just humbling. It really is. And it's awesome.
Yeah, you can tell what we've been up to. I mean, Gannon replaced the word cool with school. So, I mean, that tells you enough about what we've been up to. But yeah, like Gannon said, thank you to the both of you guys. But before we dive into all the questions and everything and have you guys answer these, I want you guys to go ahead, both introduce yourself, who you are, how you got involved with Personal Corner, and where they can find you on socials.
Go ahead, Freddy.
Okay, I'll go first. Well, I'm Steady Freddy. As you can see, this green Avastar right here behind me. Also, that's a Juggernaut. Shout out Personal Corner. I have a LLC. I started Web3 company. I've spent over 20 years in management, professional management, restaurant management, building people with brands. Currently, I work with artists. I work with other people, basically advising and helping them in the process and making them understand what it's really about, what blockchain technology is about, not the NFT word, the buzzword. It's really about blockchain, true ownership. And that's what Personal Corner is about. It's for the athlete, by the athlete. It's Personal Corner. I myself was a Juggernaut holder. I just got involved. I met Luke. Shout out to Luke. I met him at the 40/40 Club. And we had a big old party. That was one of the first events that I had with Personal Corner. I got to meet Dez, got to meet, just a whole list of celebrities, but really kind of see the inner workings of everything that was going on. And, over this last year, I just have gained a lot of knowledge and really just have been at Luke's coattails and really helping him in any way I can, and that's kind of where I'm at. I'm the Robin to the bat, so it's kind of a great way to toss it to Luke. So shout out Luke.
I appreciate that. What's your Twitter? Just so they all know that.
Oh yeah, my Twitter is at SteadyFreddyETH, and that's ETH in capital letters. So SteadyFreddyETH. Just look for this green avatar right here, and that's all my profile, my link tree, everything. So appreciate it. Thanks guys for having us on as well.
Yeah, perfect. So my name's Luke. Some people call me Space Bat. I go by Space Bat in multiple places. Some people prefer to call me that. I go, whatever suits your fancy there. So I actually got into NFTs, a little over a year now. It's been probably a little longer than that, but always been sort of a technology-based person, and also do well with startups and things like that. So kind of fit into a little niche here where met Dez at game one last year, actually. So this year we got to meet you guys, and it was kind of a nice full circle moment from last year where that was my first game and experience there. So it was a nice full circle moment there. But yeah, spacebat.eth on Twitter. Feel free to reach out. But I pretty much run the community management, community director side things of Personal Corner. So that's making sure that, everybody has the tickets for the games that they should, or making sure that the Discord server is up to par and everybody's happy in there. So try to fill in a little bit more where I can and help with some day-to-day business stuff. But other than that, I'm just one of the community members as well. So that's it for me.
Kind of talking specifically about Personal Corner, and since you guys have been on this wave and all that, let's call it, what is one specific thing that you feel like you have been impacted the most from Personal Corner? Like, just really, selfishly talking, what do you think there's something that you've gained yourself, just Personal Corner kind of just you didn't know, and then it kind of showed you once you got involved?
For sure, I can start with that if that's all right. So for me, like, I've always been more of a introverted person with a short external battery life, and so that did fine in college and schools and things like that, but never really had the confidence to put myself out there, or to be at the front of something, or to build something from nothing. So I would say that from the Personal Corner experience, it's been confidence that it's given me, and I know that all three of us on this call, or four of us, can agree that they've probably gotten some level of confidence from being around this project. So I think aside from all the great things that we're doing for sports and blockchain technology and events and coordinating and things like that, I still think it's just from the mental health aspect, the confidence that everybody's gained, thinking, seeing that the light at the end of the tunnel where, this is possible and I could do this. So that's my answer. I don't know, Freddy, if you want to chime in there too.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great answer. Confidence. I agree with that. I've gained a lot of personal confidence with just the inner workings. You do kind of have to lean on yourself a little bit. You do have to have that strong mental mindset because you are going to have tough days. You're going to have long nights. Web3 is different. It is 24/7. It is 365. Shout out 365. So it is one of those things that you do what you can and you try to rely on people. And when you find a great community like you find in Personal Corner, this is what happens. So for me, I think the biggest thing I got was perspective. And when I mean perspective, I'm talking about perspective from the other side, from Dez's mind, from the athlete side, from, hey, I'm a celebrity, but I'm a person too. And I'll never forget, literally, if you could see it, it gives me chills now to talk about it. Because when I heard him say that, I was like, man, I never really thought about that. It never really clicked. They're people too, man. They make mistakes. They have bad days. Dez caught it. And no matter what people said, it's always going to live forever in NFL history. And that's something he's going to have to deal with. And being part of Personal Corner, we get to see that in real life. Every day people tell him, hey man, you caught it. Hey man, you caught it. And it's great because it's one of those things that it's going to live on forever. And he embraces it. And I think, like I said, perspective, really taking on that taking on that brand, just being part of it is the whole journey. It's been great. I'm really excited about where we're going to, and for you guys to be along with the ride.
I agree with all that, and I think one thing you said stood out to me a lot in the sense that it never really clicked until you were able to sit down and hear that with Dez and talking about for the athlete and them being human as well. I think that's very important for our audience to understand, is that you may be an athlete right now, you may be a fan, you may be a coach, But at the end of the day, if you're screaming and yelling at these athletes, you're getting on their case. You have to understand the human side of it. And I do know growing up in high school, like I can attest to it. I was one of those people that would sit down and watch a Cowboys game and yell at your TV. That's what it is. But then as I progressively have gotten older and matured, you start to realize that these guys, this is their livelihoods. This is how they put food on the table for their families. And to grasp that concept and help them build on who they are for what they are is insanely important. And I've valued that so much. Like when you said you got chills, that's exactly how I was when I heard exactly what personal corner is and will be. But now I kind of want to switch gears a little bit and break it down for our audience. Let's just do this in the most simple format possible. What is an NFT? For the people that haven't been on the NFT 101 calls, the people that have absolutely no idea what an NFT is, what is it?
Yeah, I think that's a question we get quite a bit. For the audience and what we're doing here, I think NFT can be seen as multiple different things, but in the context of what we're talking about here, they can be seen as tokens of access, so like a membership, and they could be seen potentially as proof of purchase or things like that. So we're using a blockchain technology that's not owned by any single entity. Because of its transparency to do things that we do today already. There are already memberships. There's already a Costco membership that you can get and pay for and go to the store and you show your card and it works. So it's the same thing. It's just digital. So by joining Personal Corner with the NFTs that we provide, you're gaining access to everything that we have as a company. So if it's an event, if it's a promotion, like we're doing our fantasy football ones right now, whatever the case may be, you're always going to have first access to that. Some cases for future athlete drops, discounts, things like that. So from that standpoint, you can get it's a non-fungible token is the definition, but I think the easiest way people to think about it is to look at it like it's membership and access pass for a digital world. So that's my explanation. That's Freddie. I know we all kind of have our own little.
Yeah, I like to
thing
use
there.
the gift card reference is like, I mean, not gift card, excuse me, like a birthday card reference. The easiest way I explain it is, you go to Walmart, you go to Target, you go to these stores, you can buy birthday cards. They all have the same picture on the front, but behind that is basically metadata or the stuff that's in the contract. And that metadata will have things that will give you access to memberships, like Luke was talking about, clubs and things like that. And also think about it, when you gift that card, you can include more in that. So for example, with Personal Corner and Dez could always make things happen, just like he's doing this giveaway that we're doing right now. We're doing a 5K giveaway. He just won money off a bet that he had, so he decided to give back to the community. That was never in our roadmap, anything like that. But it's because he's the founder, he can do that. That's the difference with NFTs. It gives you that digital collectible. I own this juggernaut. It is mine. It has a reference number to it. And also gives me access to contests, events, gives me in real life, like memories to, like, this last week I met you guys. This will never change. I feel like this is going to be forever. So there's things that people don't think about. It's so many more layers at a base level. Think of it as a gift card with data in the back. You can include money, you can include whatever you want in there, give it to someone else, or you can keep it. You can sell it if you want to. So there's so many more things to it. It's not as simple as we would like to say. Luke and I could sit here and talk for hours about it. But the easiest way to say it is think of it as a gift card and you own it. You can do what you want with it and you can sell it and make value for yourself if you like.
I think the interesting thing, like when you talked about shoving stuff in that folder and that card, this is the whole unique perspective with Personal Corner because it brings in the sports world with the NFT stuff. And there's nobody else really truly doing that with the sports fan and all that, being engaged with the different athletes now with Matt Judon and Hollywood Brown and Max Crosby and all these other athletes that are being brought in to get more sports fans like Bryce and I kind of at a time we had no idea of the NFT stuff. And I think that's a really cool thing because, hey, I'm a Dez Bryant fan, but I have nothing to do or even understand an NFT or what that has and that includes. So I think that's kind of been the unique thing that Bryce and I have seen and tried to explain to people, that you can be this sports fan while also being this NFT fan at the same time. And those are how the Juggernaut and Personal Corner all go hand in hand. I think that's what I really thought and sat back and took it all moment, like, wow, this is how these two can and are going to work together. But what specifically for you two, a question, what's with the juggernauts and all that, what kind of sets that apart from other NFTs and other places on the open sea and all that people just might not understand, but why you feel like it's different?
So I think just my take on it, there's two major things. Is the first big one I think is our project focuses mainly on what we call IRL or in real life events and access. So it's a digital asset that we use on the blockchain, and we do have things that we do digitally online. We have our communities there. When metaverse is up and cooking, we'll have our spaces there and stuff as well, in the digital verse. But for the main part, it's a lot of other projects will use a IRL event as a plus or something extra or something that everybody asks for. Whereas that's kind of what we focus on and changing the way that people interact with that. And then the other thing is just it's a lot of these projects are either venture capitalists and sheep's clothing, or they're run by a team of other people and being endorsed by celebrities or high brands and things like that. This is a true project where this is Dez's project. We're simply just vessels to help make that happen. I don't make the schedule. I don't decide what we're going to do. It's still his ideas and his organic growth. So I think that's one of the bigger things that sets us apart.
And just to add to that, I think it's one of those things that it's about that digital collectible gives true ownership to that person. And when I'm saying that, I mean, like Luke was saying, Dez can kind of do what he wants with these juggernauts. It also gives that value to the MVP. So like, for instance, we had a signing event and we got to sit and talk with these athletes and like hang out and really connect with them. And so PC and the juggernauts like bridges that gap. It really takes away those barriers that we had before when you couldn't really talk to an athlete and really get to know who they were as a person.
Mhm.
Whereas we've had multiple events. I've been to New York, I've been to Las Vegas, I've been to LA, all to meet with athletes, celebrities, and do stuff. And it's all because of Personal Corner. It's not because I'm somebody special. It's because I talk to people, and it basically takes down those walls and it gives them a comfort zone saying too, hey, these guys are part of Dez's group and we agree that Dez is a good guy. So these are good people as well. So it kind of gives the people that interact and the celebrities and other athletes that interact, it gives them that comfort zone that, hey, you know what, we can trust them. It gives them that value of trust that you can't really get. And we talk about the NFL being a business, we're going to see college turn more into business with NIL and things like that. So there's going to be a lot of things that are pivoting in the future, and we're trying to be ahead of the game and try to use technology to give ownership back to the athletes so they can use that for their game.
Definitely take note of that. Those are important nuggets to take in right there. And I think something that really stuck out to me is when you talk about IRL, the word that kind of leads me to think of is a word that I feel like I've been using a lot lately when describing what Personal Corner is and what we got to do this past weekend. That word is utility. And I think understanding what utility is and what it can do for fan and athlete engagement and even for anything else with other NFT brands and projects. So kind of take us into an understanding of what utility is, and kind of describe some of the events that you guys have been able to have, and even people you've met through utility.
Yeah, utility is the reason we're all here. I think it's at the end of the day, I think it boils down to being pretty much a perk or an incentive for owning. So it can be it varies from project to project. Some of them are quite creative, some of them have no utility. There's plenty of artists out there selling NFTs with that's the utility, you get the art. So and there's a place for everything. So in our sense, the utility comes in many forms. I think there's the sort of the roadmap that we have, that we try to publish, where what our intentions are, some of our plans, and things like that will provide these events and these other access to things in the future. But at the end of the day, it's the utility should be baked into the tokens as well. So like for us, just owning any one of the 4 juggernauts, whether it's the most expensive tier or the cheapest tier, it's either, a 1x into a giveaway or a 2x, a 3x, a 4x, depending on the tier. So right at the end of the day, just by owning the token, you could, potentially win any part of any of the giveaways that we run that way. And, people have won $15,000 for the Super Bowl. We gave 10 people $15,000 that way. So it's not really, I've seen a lot of projects with so-called utility where it kind of discriminates based on how, rare or what tier you have. And for us, it's really about inclusion and building the community. So that is more, well, maybe the GOATs, they have the baked in utility because of the cost, where you get the sweet tickets for the Dallas Cowboys games. That's what you guys got to experience this weekend. I have a GOAT token, so I get 2 tickets every year for game 1. And I know that that's my, one of my main utilities for that. And that's something that Dez will be at. I think everybody can kind of say there's nothing like watching a football game with Dez.
No, there's not.
It's like a physical experience. Like literally you'll be, I think I have bruises and things like that. So, it's just quite the utility experience for that. But then, the people that can just afford the rookie and stuff, they're still going to get that entry into any of these giveaways. We raffle off tickets for the suite if we have extras, if things like that. And even just for Dez put that bet down on the Cowboys and won. So he gave $5K away. If you hold one of the juggernauts, it doesn't matter which tier, you can enter that giveaway to win $500. And there's less than 100 people in there right now, so that's pretty good odds. 4 people will win $500, and you just have to have a juggernaut. So utility can be kind of seen as probably a dozen different things and a dozen different lights, but those are some of my favorite ones, I think. What about you, Freddie?
Yeah, just to add to what Luke was saying, and Bryce asked about celebrities and stuff like that. We've met over time. One of the things I want to talk about is actually not even more celebrities. It's more about like the connections made, because one of our actual holders, I don't want to go and say her name specifically, but she made some connections at these in real life events, and it has to do with her profession. And now she's, working with multiple NBA, NFL, like she exploded just because she made some conversations, said, hey, this is what I do, this is where I'm located. She does physical therapy and things like that. So it all aligned with the athletes. And for me, that's the utility. Yep. When you go to these events and I met Todd Gurley, and I didn't expect to meet Todd Gurley. I didn't, there was no plan for him to be there, and he was super cool. He was super chill. He was with his people and hanging out. And like, it's things like that. There's extra utility that comes with it. It's completely unplanned, because people want to see what Personal Corner is doing, what Dez is doing, because Dez is a true entrepreneur, because he started this in 2016 with an idea, and then he's building something off of that. And he wants to make it a legacy to where PC lives on after him for his family and for everyone else, so that their families can be something, and that logo lives beyond Dez. And when people go back and look at that PC logo and say, man, wait, who founded that? Then they'll find out about Dez Bryant, and he's going to make PC bigger than him. So that's what I'm excited about. I'm excited about the journey, all the connections at these in real life events that are extra utility that we don't even talk about, that it's not even there, and it's just going to continue to happen every single time, more and more and more.
Before I let Gannon rock, I want to say one thing with what you said. Just the networking opportunities that you can possibly have and that are thrown right in front of you is huge. And I think for people that maybe are even sitting back questioning why to get involved with NFTs or why to even look into it, I think a piece of advice that I can give, and I guess these 3 guys can attest to as well, is that whatever project you're getting involved with, there's obviously a person behind this project. And if you want to meet this person, there's a chance for that to become reality. And I think even in a Discord channel where there's 3,000 to 5,000 people, or the numbers vary based on what community you're in, you are establishing a relationship with people on the daily, people from all across the world. And the utility that provides in itself, it's a free networking event. Like, you're able to literally be in an event every single day if you want to. And I think that is just something I wanted to throw in there, because if you're ever questioning it, just know, like, you can end up coming across a person that you never expected to. Gannon, go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, that was exactly what I was going to say. For when Freddie was talking just about the utility of seeing that individual just being able to grow and take it on the profession to the next level just because of the initial start with PC and getting in with the athletes. I thought that was my biggest thing this week. And obviously, utility of being able to travel down and see the experience and go to the suite and all that and see Dez. But I thought my biggest, I'm a people guy. I got to have interaction with people, I got to have face to face communication. And doing that with Luke and Jesse and Rita and Freddie, like those were the utility that I thought that I didn't know I was going to be able to get and be included with the personal corner, because, you know, interacting on social media, I feel like only gets you so far, and it's not a good or a bad thing, but being able to do that in person and face to face and seeing what you four and the rest of personal corner are about, it really hit home, and like it made my heart feel good, just because you guys are in the right headspace and going in the right. Not saying you guys weren't before, but just to see that, you know, a little validation. It was like, wow, these guys, you know, it's really what they want to do for going forward and everything else. And it's not what you guys want, it's what makes everybody around you better and the personal corner better. And I think that was the biggest thing that I got out of for utility for myself. Whole lot of questions more. I don't know what else, Bryce. I just wanted to throw that in for a tad bit. I mean, we've hit it a lot. I think
Yeah,
this
I
is
do just
exactly what we wanted. Go
I
ahead.
just want to add one more question in. For obviously we're doing this episode trying to educate the people of our audience to understand what an NFT is, what the brand is for Personal Corner, how Dez Bryant started it. So I think we've answered those questions, but I think the last question, which is probably the most important question, is how do you buy an NFT?
Ooh, I highly recommend signing up for one of our NFT 101 classes to get all
That's
the details.
That's the correct answer, right?
And by first joining the Discord, discord.gg/personal corner. So, no, but in all reality, you know, there's a lot of great resources out there to if you're really diehard and gung ho about that. But I can also guarantee if you ask help for some help in the Discord, somebody will help walk you through it step by step. So, yes, yeah, I've helped countless people set up their wallets for the first time. So it's always a good experience. It helps keep me fresh too. But you know, it is a multi-step process. It's kind of the saying that we have around here is if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. And you know, that's the reason that there is a barrier of entry right now. Means that, you know, we are building something special. So
Exactly.
the easier it gets, the more masses we'll get and the less personal things we'll get. And we're trying to stay ahead of that curve so that our community is already thriving and built before, you know, where you can just download an app and get some NFTs, you know, so.
All right. Well, I think that answers that question in the sense that join the Personal Corner Discord is exactly what you should do. I think it's very important for everyone to kind of understand exactly what these guys have explained to us, that if you hop in the Discord, people are going to answer your questions, people are going to engage with you, and we're going to continue to build this community up. Dez started it from the ground up, and it's only continually growing. But I do just want to say thank you to you both for coming on here, taking the time out of your day to do an interview, to walk people step by step through the process, get an understanding of what PC is, what Dez is doing. I know Gannon and I have both encountered a lot of questions, so this is a good informational piece to just push out there instead of explaining things a million different times. So I appreciate you both. It was incredibly nice to meet both of you. I look forward to doing it again, and I'll let Gannon say his piece, and we'll get out of here.
No, that was the biggest thing. It's just thank you to you guys taking the time out today to join on here and just kind of get this going, because this is just a quick video. So now we can get this out on our platform so people can just, instead of asking questions, there's a formal video just so people can go see. But the biggest thing I have is just reach out if you have questions. All of our social medias are on my page, Bryce's page, 365 Unlimited's page. There's 2 pages. There's so many people out there to help you. And all you got to do is ask a question and take 5 to 10 minutes, because you will get it answered and you will get it figured out if you truly want to learn about it. But I just want to say thank you to you guys and everybody else for PC. This was awesome to get this going and to kind of kick back off our new redrops of our new episodes and our stuff that we're going to be really hitting hard starting now. So it's cool to have you two back on the kickoff. So thank you again, and best of luck.
I just want to say thank you guys for helping out this summer, and I hope you're ready for some more work. You know, we got a lot of things we want to do for sure. My internet keeps kind of going in and out here, so I just want to say thanks for having me on before it cuts out again. And so
Perfect.
And you froze a little bit, but it's all good. Yeah, man. Appreciate it, Bryce. Appreciate it, Gannon. Shout out 365. You guys are great in person. That's definitely utility for me, was meeting you guys in real life. It was a lot of fun. I look forward to the next time and it happening in the future. You guys aren't going anywhere. You're definitely part of the team, and we look forward to you guys growing with us and growing with the company. So let's do this, guys.
Oh yeah.
Appreciate that. We hope you
Thank
guys
you.
enjoyed this episode. Tune back in. Hopefully next week we'll be rocking and rolling with some interviews and continually attempting to grow and providing all we can do for you guys. So thank you guys for tuning in.